What day of the week do chickens hate the most? Friday! Hey everybody, welcome back to the Jack and Mo Cooking Show, where we put the home back in home cooking. And welcome to my home. So we took a little time off for spring break, we took a little hiatus, and we're back. And what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about how to make a quick, fast, easy, healthy salad, a homemade salad dressing, and an Italian baked stuffed chicken breast. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to talk a little bit about my lettuce mixture. So what I did was I went out and I bought one of these handy dandy kits because we're all about fast, easy, and inexpensive. And I think this thing cost me $2.50. And what we got here is green and red cabbage, kale, green leaf lettuce, carrots, and dried cranberries. So we have that in our bowl right here. And now we're going to make a dressing. So we're going to do this really quick. What we're going to do is we're going to take about 3/4 of a cup of vinegar. We're going to pour it into our cruet, which is a fancy name for bottle or jar. And we're going to take about 1/8 of a teaspoon of water.
Sounds like a Disney villain.
Doesn't it?
Cruet.
Yeah, Dalmatians.
Yeah.
And now we're going to take 1/2 cup of olive oil. And I'm going to do this very carefully and very slowly because I'm prone to spilling things. Okay.
What kind of olive oil? What's that, regular olive oil or
regular
extra
olive oil.
virgin?
Nope.
Extra virgin?
Nope.
Ultra extra virgin?
Nope.
All right.
No virgins, Mike. And now we have some salad dressing mix. Again, purchased right in the grocery store in the salad dressing aisle. I'm going to pour that in. Put our top on. I once put the top on, Mike, and didn't put it on well enough and had salad dressing everywhere. Now we just shake it up a bit. We're shaking things up here at the Jack and Mo Cooking Show.
I was just thinking about that. You should make sure you at least shake away from yourself.
Yep. That's true, huh?
So it doesn't get all over your clothes.
Yep. And away from you as well.
Yeah. Maybe put a finger on the lid too.
So, all right, so now we're gonna add, yeah, really. So now we're gonna add some things to our lettuce mix. So I have some tomatoes that I quartered, chopped and then I quartered. We'll add some of those.
Did you rinse the salad before you put it in the bowl?
I sure did.
Even if it's pre-rinsed, you should always rinse it again.
That's right. All right, I think that's enough. What do you think, Mike?
I like tomato side.
Oh, you want
I would have
more?
dumped. No, that's fine.
I'll put one more in there for Mike.
I would have dumped the whole thing in, but.
All right, we're gonna put some cucumbers that I peeled and chopped, that I washed, peeled and chopped. So Mike, how you doing these days? How was break?
It was very busy.
Yeah?
Actually, I stayed home with my kids most of the time, so.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know it, Mike is an essential worker. He's an educator. And he also has kids. And even though he has a full-time job and a family, he very graciously comes here almost on a weekly basis and helps us film these episodes. All right, we're going to put some green peppers in there.
It's my respite.
Yeah. And then, you know, when Mike says cut and turns off the camera, his work isn't done. He takes the footage home and spends hours editing it for us as well to turn it into an entertaining and informative product. And for that, we thank you, sir.
You're welcome, sir. I wouldn't say hours.
All right, now we got some dried cranberries, just because I like a little sweetness in my salad. Okay. All right, so we're gonna set this aside. Actually, let me toss it real quick. No, I'm not gonna toss it out the window. All right, you Mike.
You would if you put the pomegranates in it.
Yeah. Just try to get some of the lettuce from the bottom, you know, Mike?
I know.
Okay.
Because if you don't, everyone gets salad. Like the first 3 people take all the good stuff.
That's right.
You're just left with like lettuce.
All right, so we're gonna set this aside, along with our dressing, for a little later. All right, now we're gonna work on our chicken breast. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this guy out of here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut a pocket into it. And the way to do this is to slice right into the side of it, but be careful not to slice all the way through. So you want to go about 3/4 of the way. Just so you have a place to put your stuff in. There. And you want it deep enough so you can get enough stuff in there. Okay, so now before I put the stuffing in, I am going to put on a different glove on my right hand. Actually, I've changed gloves altogether.
Yeah, I would change them all together. Then why are you changing gloves, Jack?
So that we don't cross-contaminate with the chicken and invite our friends salmonella to the meal.
Aw, we can't have them?
No, we don't want them.
Or their son Ebola?
Nope. Ebola.
Wasn't that a former salmon? I don't remember. I can't keep up with all of them.
Yeah. If I were smart, Mike, I would have put 2 pairs of gloves on at once and just peeled one off. But nobody ever accused me of being smart. Right?
Nobody ever accused you of not being smart either.
Well, no. I've been there a couple times. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to... I actually did this in the wrong order, didn't I, Mike?
Yes, you did, but...
Oh well. So what I would suggest, folks, is first you make your stuffing and then you cut your chicken. So we did it in the wrong order, but that's okay. So we got about 1 cup or so of chopped spinach. We've got a 1/3 cup or so of sun-dried tomatoes. We got about 1/2 cup of feta, because feta is better. And we got about 1/4 cup of olive oil. Okay. So we're going to mix this all together.
We should get mixing theme music.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about that.
You want to get a shot of that, Mike?
I got a shot of it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Looks good.
So now we're going to stuff our chicken.
I was thinking more like rawhide.
Oh, yeah.
Stirring, stirring, stirring.
There you go.
Mixing, mixing, mixing.
All right.
Do you put all of it in, or how much are you
I
putting in
try
there?
to put in enough to where it serves as a good side dish. But, you know, just like when we did the breakfast burritos, you want to be careful not to put too much so that it's difficult to close.
Right.
Okay, I think that's
So the amount you just made would just do 1 chicken breast? Pretty much?
Actually, you can, what I usually do is I'll triple the amount of ingredients and I'll make 3.
Okay.
And one's for me, one's for Morgan, and one's for lunch the next day. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to close our chicken and we're going to use toothpicks to seal them so that while it's cooking, the stuffing doesn't fall out. Now the important part about the toothpick is you want to remember how many toothpicks you used
Yes.
so that you take out the right amount of toothpicks. Because if you don't, it will not be good.
Let's say for some weird reason someone doesn't have a toothpick. What else could they use, possibly?
Well, what they could do is stuff the chicken and then just put it seam side down
Okay.
and cook it like that.
That makes sense.
So I'm using 5 toothpicks. No, I'm using 4 toothpicks. No, actually, I am using 5.
Go for 6, man. Come on.
Yep.
Maybe you'll break the record.
There we go. Okay.
Can you get one more in?
Yeah, I don't know if we need one more, do we?
I don't know.
The more you put in, the more we got to take out.
Yeah, but I like it being an even number.
There you go. I got you. The OCD's kicking in. Okay.
Well, it just goes up to 6 now, not 5.
So now we got one more thing we need to do, but I am again going to replace my gloves. Because health safety, food safety is the key. Right, Mike?
Yes.
So, you know, Mike, this might be a good time for prophecies of a single parent. So let's talk a little bit about making the child or children comfortable in your home during divorce. So one of the first things that I did was that I talked to Morgan about her bedroom. I talked to her about, you know, what's going to make her comfortable, how does she want to decorate her bedroom. When we had an apartment, she was into the Disney princess thing, so I painted the walls pink with purple trim, and we got her the Disney canopy bed and the Disney princess sheets and comforter and pillowcase, and did the whole thing up in Disney princess. When we bought the house, she wanted the ocean. So I painted the walls blue. All right, real quick, like what I'm going to do now is I'm going to smear some pesto over the top and the bottom of the chicken. So when we bought the house, she wanted the ocean. And so what I did was I painted the walls ocean blue. I painted the ceiling a deep dark purple to look like the night sky. I bought a bunch of nylon Wally stickers with fish and mermaids and seashells. I took her canopy bed apart and I painted them blue, painted the poles blue, and then I covered them in glue and I rolled them in sand to get that beach look. And then we took some flat seashells that had holes in them and we zip tied them to the poles. And then we bought some door murals, some nylon door murals of beach scenes and ocean scenes and palm trees, and put those on her bedroom and closet door. And then we bought her a new alarm clock so she could wake up to the sounds of the ocean. And we created the ocean for her. So what that did was that made her excited to come to Dad's house. And every night at bedtime, she couldn't wait to dive into the ocean. And it made the transition from one house to the other just a little easier. Because anybody who's ever had to go through that knows that it can be difficult. So the moral of that story, boys and girls, is do whatever you can to make your kids as comfortable as possible in your home and the transition from one place to another easier. And
Good solid advice.
My prophecy of a single parent for today. Okay, so now what we do is we take our chicken, put it in our casserole dish, and we put this in the oven at 350 degrees for 45 minutes to an hour, or until, with a thermometer, it's 160 degrees. And then you have a yummy stuffed chicken breast and a side dish and a salad. And I'm having trouble with these gloves. Okay, so you would cover this guy with tin foil and then pop it in the oven. And as luck would have it, we just already happen to have a finished product.
Through the magic of TV.
Yeah. Hey Mike, did you know that this is the 25th episode of the Jack and Mo Cooking Show?
I did not.
Yeah.
Was it silver?
I believe so.
Happy silver anniversary.
Yeah. I didn't realize we'd been doing it that long, because it's that much fun. All right. So, we've got our chicken breast, and I remember that I used 3 toothpicks. So we're going to take out 1, 2, 3 toothpicks.
That's because that's a much smaller piece of chicken.
Yes. Yeah, this is
That's
just a
why we
little
only
guy.
have 3.
Yep. That's just a little guy. So that would be an appetizer almost. or at least for me anyway.
Yeah.
So let me cut us a little. So you can do one of two things here, folks. You can either scoop the stuffing out and use it as a side dish and just eat the chicken and the stuffing separately, or you can do what I'm doing and cut it together and just eat it all at once. What do you think, Mike?
I don't know. I like to eat it all at once.
There you go. Good man.
But I know there's other people who don't like different foods in their mouth at the same time.
Yep.
So
Mike, I got something kind of cool to tell you about. A couple of weeks ago, the Utica Food Pantry did another food distribution, and they gave away over 40,000 pounds of food, which equated
that's
to
a lot of food.
It's a lot of food, and that equated to about 40,000 meals, pound of meal. And the other thing they did is they gave us 4 boxes of food that we could take to the Utica community fridge and the Herkimer community fridge and fill them up for people who needed food. So that was awful generous of them.
Well, so where are those fridges located?
So one fridge is at the Hope House on South Street in Utica. And the other fridge is at the Reformer Church in Herkimer on Church Street. And you can donate food to those fridges 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And anyone who needs food can take it exactly the same time. All right, so there's a little few, Mike, and I'm gonna give you some salad as well.
No, right. That awesome looking salad.
Yeah. How fast was that, Mike? How fast did that salad go through? A couple minutes.
Yep.
The chicken does take a little bit of time. Like I said, 45 minutes to an hour. But you always want to make sure your chicken is cooked through. Like I said, otherwise you're going to be dealing with our friends salmonella. Or our enemies salmonella.
Hey, what did you do to the chicken before you cut it?
What do you mean?
Did you put it in the freezer to firm it up for about half an hour?
Yeah, we froze it up a little bit so that when we cut it, it would cut real nice. Good point. Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome.
All right, so you want to give it a try, sir?
Yeah, let me lock this thing down.
Yep.
Aren't you gonna eat it?
Yeah, I got a little bit right here. And I'm gonna grab some salad too. And folks, I want to take a minute. I just want to recognize some people who helped make the whole Jack and Mo cooking show thing happen. Our produce team is made up of Mr. Tomato, Mr. Paul Tato, Miss Cauliflower, and Mr. Asparagus. Our meat man is Mr. Phil Philly Mignon. And our dessert specialist is Mr. Milton. We call him Milt Shake. And last but certainly not least is our videographer extraordinaire, Mr. Michael Sugarcane. What do you think, Mike? How do you like it? Oh, you're... I see, you're chewing.
You're a waitress now. I like it. It's really good.
And you taste the olive oil and the sun-dried tomatoes and the pesto.
Yeah. The feta makes a nice balance.
Well, folks, that's a wrap for this episode, the 25th episode of the Jack and Mo Cooking Show. And I just want to say, on behalf of myself and Miss Mo, happy cooking and have a great day.